Today is September the 26th. The year is 2022. Today is Monday, and the time is about 8:48 p.m. I'm going to talk a little bit about the future of pro-black literature. This is a new literature category, and this is my overview. I'm going to discuss the difference between pro-black authors versus black authors. And this is just my outline, so I'm gonna go with the big parts first. Pro-black authors versus black authors. I'm gonna talk about the two true pro-black authors that are here right now, and that's Brother Yapa Yapa and Sister Ajali Shabazz, the Radical Sister. And are we? And then I'm gonna talk about us, if we're really pro-black or not. And then I'm gonna talk about how it's time for our next level in our own development, and that we should grab the hard copies while we can. So let's scroll up here and let's talk a bit. Now, we've always had black authors. That is, just people who write books about black people. Anybody that writes a book about black people is a person that's writing a book about black people, telling a story about black people, whether they're pro black or not. And I haven't seen any that were pro black. Not all people who write black books about black people are black. And I'm gonna talk about that more later. Most black authors are not pro black. Your Terry McMillan's and your other lady that starts with the M, and that I always can't never remember her name. But you know the books like The Color Purple or The Women of Brewster Place and things like that. These modern women who write man-hating stories. That's the only way to put it. It's man-hating stories. This is all through our media, whereas woman-hating and man-hating, and we can't. We don't need any more of that. And then we don't need all the beat down type of books. We have had a lot of that. Those are closet white supremacist books or other people's supremacist books and stories. And we've had enough of that. Do I really need to see another poor beat down black person? Even the ones where you get awards, high awards. We have no need for that. We have no more need for that. We have seen that. And so, no more man hating books, no more woman hating books. That's black man, black woman hating books. No more of that. We've got plenty of that already on the shelf. I'm talking about real pro black stuff. This is where black people have control over their own narrative, and this is pro black people. Many black stories are right there. Many black stories are not written by black people. So no more Uncle Tom's Cabins or To Kill a Mockingbird. And I and if you think I'm kidding, even Stan Lee's Black Panther is written by white people. Those are closet white supremacist stories. I wrote down. I went who. Let me pull this over here. I said, who wrote Uncle Tom's Cabin? That's one of the most famous black books that people always talk about, right? Uncle Tom's Cabin. This is Harriet Beecher Stowe. She's a daughter of a preacher, Reverend Beecher, and that's her married thing, Harriet Beecher Stowe. She was probably thought she was doing good, but that's actually a white supremacist book. That is not helping us. Telling us our plight don't help us. Solutions to our plight help us. And so I'm gonna close out of that because I wanted to show you that that's a white lady that wrote that. Another famous book was To Kill a Mockingbird. And I wrote down who wrote To Kill a Mockingbird. That's my Google search. And that's her name was Harper Lee, and that's her. That's a very famous book that was critically acclaimed back in the day when it was written. It was a very strong story. They even made a movie of it. They made a movie of it, and teach you to read this book in any literary class you ever had. They teach this book in elementary school. They take us to movies. They shove this book down our throat. Okay? All our life, this is what we're told about black people. I'm going to close that. And if you think that's in the past, it's not in the past. I went to who wrote the Black Panther? And that's what I wrote. That's what I went in my Google search. Who wrote the Black Panther? These are the two people who are the creators of the Black Panther, Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. This is Jack Kirby. Here's a picture of him right there. This is him. That's Mr. Jack Kirby. Okay? He does not look like the Black Panther. He does not look like us. And we already know what Stan Lee looks like, but anyway, I pulled up a picture of him, and this is Stan Lee. They're writing black stories about black people. And ultimately, when they present their information, they can't help but, they pretty much can't help but put their own spin on it because it's not a story for us. It's a story to control us. You know how the Black Panther ended with him going to the United Nations, getting ready to help the world with this with that resource, as if the world hasn't already took enough resources out of Africa. That he's going to help everybody. But that's their story. That is a story about them with us as characters. It's not a help for us. So we've been reading and writing and listening to man hating and man bashing black books with black characters, and women bashing black characters. Some of them have won great awards and got great acclaim. And all of these books, or these type of books, are not pro-black. I haven't read a pro-black book or seen a pro-black story, even in the movies. Not really. Not really. So we need to get past that. So that's why I'm saying that true pro-black authors need to be talked about and built up, and that's what I want to see more of. True pro-black authors, not just black authors, or not just people writing black stories. So that's time for us to go to our next level, and we don't need any more of that. So I'd rather not have that anymore. We not Now I'm at number C. Not only must we control our own narrative, we must also make the endings the way we want. This is big. Make our endings of our stories the way we want them to be. No more downtrodden, weak, ineffective black people struggling in these stories. We want to see solutions where we win on a mass basis. Now, many black stories have a struggle of a black person, an individual black person, overcoming and persevering under those tremendous odds, and they triumph. That's very nice. We've been there, done that. But we need to be at our next level where we see where we move up on as a mass basis as a people. Now, there's a reason why this is a problem for other people. I'm down there. I'm gonna talk more about it, but I'm just gonna skip past that. I'm might not talking. I'm talking about it now rather than later. There's a reason why this is a struggle, a problem for other people, for us to get our act together and get up out of this situation that we're in. It's because they can't exploit us unless we are available for exploitation. Nobody wants to see their cash cow go away. They're going to do everything they can to keep the cash cow in the place they were in. But they're being so obvious now, or else we're getting more enlightened, or else they're getting more desperate, that they are showing their true colors all over the place. And we're seeing it and waking up. That's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. For us, it's a good thing for us, bad thing for them. When we used to, and I still watch martial arts movies, and when we were kids, we would call the genre karate movies. All of them were karate movies, no matter where they were from. But when you watch so many of them, you begin to notice a pattern. And one of the things we noticed was that we could tell which nation wrote the movie by who were the bad guys and who were the good guys. Like we would watch martial arts movies or karate movies from all over Asia that are sent from all over Asia. We could watch a Chinese one, we would watch a Korean one, a Japanese one, a Taiwanese, Vietnamese, anybody that was making a movie. We didn't even have to understand the language because we already knew the plot. This is true. We went to, my cousin and I went to a martial arts selling store in the martial arts and buying little bitty CDs, DVDs of them, right? And the lady was telling us that they're not in English. We said, yes, okay, but it's not in English. Yeah, we know, okay. That's because we already knew the plot. We don't have to know what they say. We already know what they're going to say. We don't care. We want to see the movie. So we bought like four of them in a foreign language and still kept up with the plot. We knew they were going to break the sign. We knew they were going to get mad at Sensei getting killed. We knew that they won't have a restaurant fight. Because we already know what the story is. We knew that if there's romance, he's going to jump out of the tree on the girl. That's romance. We already knew the plot. So we didn't have to understand the language. And sure enough, it pretty much happened like we thought. But we got to where we could understand and see who made the movie. Like if it was a Korean movie and the Koreans are the good guys all through it, and they're mad at the Japanese, and we knew the Japanese were the bad, we could tell which side wrote the movie, and we were right on the money. We could tell when the Chinese wrote the movie because the Chinese are the good guys all through the movie. Chinese are the winners, best people, and the Japanese are the bad people. Or the Japanese write the movie and somebody else, the Koreans are the bad guys, or the Chinese are the bad guys, depending on which nation wrote the movie. Whichever nation put on the movie is going to be the winners and the good guys by the end of the story. That's because they had a healthy understanding of imagery and solutions. They don't want themselves to be portrayed as the weak, ineffective people, and they weren't going to let that happen if it's going to be their movie. So other people were the weak, ineffective bad guys, but not them. They made sure that they came out on top on all levels. That's what people do when they control their own story. If you ever see an action adventure movie in America, excuse me, by the time they're through with it, they have won. There's very seldom either they are the bad guy and the good guy won, or if they're in some foreign country, they're going to win overall no matter what because they are not going to let themselves lose. That's not what their story is about. They need that imagery of themselves being in a good place, even if they the bad guy. They still gonna be in control, and this bad guy is gonna be a super bad guy that's in divine level proportions of bad. They can't be an ordinary bad guy. They're gonna be an extreme bad guy and a powerful bad guy. No matter what they're doing, it's gonna be level, high level, whatever it is, because they want to be in control and they want to show that. That's what they do. That's what everybody does. So why are we writing our narrative where we are broken down, ineffective, and can't win our own story? So these two pro-black stories that I'm going to talk about do do that where they show us winning on a mass basis. That's why I'm narrating this. It's because I want more of that. Okay, so not only must we control our own narrative, we must make the endings the way we want. And we want them to show that we are winning and in control on a mass basis, not an individual triumph, but us as a group of black people, where we are effective and able to take control and win with our own hands. We don't need a savior. That's weakness when we're getting a savior. Now you just the level of a princess or a damsel in distress that can't even do your own saving. You must have somebody else rescue you. That's not effective. That's other guy supremacy. We need our little girls to see black men as heroes, No wonder you got divestors. They've been looking at movies having other groups of men as a heroes, as effective leaders, as people who can do things and get things done. Of course they're going to go after them. They shouldn't. They should have been woke up by now, but they are still thinking that these guys are the hero. The more you see them as the heroes in the books, of course they're going to go want them. Everybody wants the best man. That's what nature biologically made you do. As a female, is to want the best man you can get for whatever. And if they're portraying themselves as the best thing out there, despite whatever they see next to you when you go to work, these little idiots buy that. And that's what they're doing. And they are idiots because they ought to be able to look around them at the men around them and see that they're not really what's portrayed in the movies. But little children, little black girls imprint on that. Young black boys are imprinting on that white teacher walking across his classroom. Young black boys are imprinting on that white teacher that's got control of this classroom. And that's why I say that we shouldn't even be having our children in those schools. I believe in schooling strongly, because we don't need to have our children in a position where they're looking and admiring other races of people, imprinting on them. It's a lot of it's that much harder of a hill to climb out of, when we didn't really need to even put our children in that position. But to deprogram yourself is that much harder when we have programmed them or let them be programmed to believe other people are the epitome of everything that's wonderful, and we're the downtrodden, broke down, ineffective people that are just struggling all the time and can't do anything right. That's a story to keep. They write those stories to keep us where we are. So we got to change that. And so we need to win and write our stories to win on a mass basis. Okay? Now, right now, there are two pro black authors, Sister Ajali Shabazz, and I have a link to her book, and Brother Iyapa Yapa, and here's a link to his book. Now, I'm going to jump on over to Amazon and give you a look at these. These are the three books that Sister Ajali Shabazz wrote. As you can see, she is doing her best to tell us what we need to know. And these books are wonderful, as well as Furnace of Affliction, which is going to help us. This lady has demonstrated that she loves us more than we love ourselves, as far as I'm concerned. Everything about what she does is showing her love for us, and she loves us more than we do our own self, because she's trying to pull us out the water, out of the boiling pot. We're like frogs in a boiling pot, in that little slow heat up pot that people talk about. She's trying to pull us out, and we're saying we're taking a bath and comfortable. Literally. We're saying, nah, get away from us. We comfortable in this nice hot bath. And she's saying, honey, your skin is flaking off. It's not going to be a good day for you. And she's doing her best to pull us out. And because she does, she loves us. Everything that you see that she writes and does is a labor of love, because she took her time and did that for us, and she kicked ass. She kicked it in the butt, doing her work for us. I am so proud of her and so impressed. That's her page. And this is Brother Iyapa Yapa's page. Well, Sister Haji Lee's those are her books, and this is his page. He's got his own page on Amazon and his titles, and this is his book right here, Melanin. Plus, he's got a podcast somewhere in there. But anyway, you can get it, and there's a link to his page too. I mean, his book. This is his link, and that's her link. So when I publish this, I'm gonna put these in the description box. His story kicked butt. I don't even know what I'm. Okay, let me close that one. I'm here to tell you, his story kicked ass too. His story kicked butt. They both addressed the similar issue in different ways, and it was so fascinating to read both of these books because they both address the issues. My favorite genre is sci-fi fiction. So if there's a science fiction or paranormal or fantasy book, I'm there. Now, I don't want to do the romance and drama and stuff because that just bores me to pieces. But science fiction and stuff like that is I'm there. And these were both science fiction. And they treated it so well. They treated the topics of today so well and extraordinary. Both a different approach, but very well done, both of them. I want to see more. These writers are providing what we've been asking for. As pro-black people, we've been on YouTube and various social media platforms asking for our own narrative, asking for us to write books, asking for us to have our own stories told. They provided that. It's wonderful, it's well written, fun, creative, and insightful. Everything we've been asking for. So, this is our chance to show that we mean what we're saying because they kicked butt on both of these stories. They kicked it and knocked it out the park. They kicked butt so much, feet are hurting. Very, very well done, both of these books. And they both are expression of love for us. Okay, so I want to see more of this and I want us to support it. Next is this. And this is a part where I'm not going to be so nice. Well, I'm going to do my version of not being nice. And that is the question is because I've been looking and watching and being on this platform for a pretty good while, and I've been interacting with people who say they are pro-black, interacting, commenting, putting a check mark for like and all of that, and listening and watching videos, clicking like and adding comments and giving love and supporting and saying all kind of nice things about what they putting out and how all the things that we comment on and interact about. And now I'm wondering about you. Yeah. I'm wondering if you're really pro black or is it just a fad to you? Yes. And I'm talking to some of the people I like the most. I'm talking to some of the people I like the most. And I'm wondering if just being pro black or saying you're pro black is a fad and you don't really mean it. That you just want to be in on the cutting edge of this new thing. Because if you were in my mind, if you're pro black, you would have put up or yeah, you would have came forward and began to support. Yeah, I think I think I would have seen a lot of more support because I think these both of these books should be in the thousands by now because I've seen and heard that many pro-black people or people who said they're pro-black on the internet, and I'm just one person, but I've seen a lot, and so now I'm thinking, are you just talking or do you mean it? Is it a fad? Do we and that's what I'm wondering. Do we love ourselves to truly want change? That's the first thing I do was when I love myself is to want me to be in a better place because I got that much ego and love for myself. So if I'm seeing something hurting me, I ain't gonna stay there. I'm gonna try to figure out a way to get myself out of the water that's or the lake of fire, whatever. I'm gonna see figure out how to make a change, even if it's baby steps. These books are the equivalent. I think one of the books is about $25. That's two fast food meals. Can you do without two fast food meals? If it's a family, then that's well below feeding a family of three or four. So I know this don't cost a lot overall. So I don't know why y'all haven't bought more of these books yet. And I'm wondering if y'all mean what you say. If we do if we love ourselves as much as these authors do, then think that we should support their endeavors, because I want to see more of this sort of thing, and I can't do it by myself. I'm gonna try, but I can't do it by myself. And I want us to be on the cutting edge of this before the rest of the world figures it out, because we got to control our own narrative. And one of the things to control our own narrative is being accept the credibility of each other's word. So if one of us say this book is good, then you don't need other people's validation, other races validation to mean that. Are we still so brainwashed that we don't realize that other black people have an opinion that's just as valid as anybody else in the world? Do we really think we need white people validation to believe something is really good? Or are we credible on our own as black people speaking out saying something is good? Because usually white people come ask us, and then we tell them, and then they go repeat what we say. They take what we say and run, and now it's their word. And that's been the way it's been for a long time. So I'm wondering if you truly are ready to take your own next step. Are you ready to visualize, or even have it imagine that you can do better? And that's what these books are about. So if you can't handle that yet, then just admit that and say so, and stop fooling me. Because right now, a lot of people are losing credibility with me, if not already lost credibility with me. All the same reasons you find not to support one another are the same reasons that other black people find not to support you in your endeavor. All those excuses you find not to help black people grow and do what they're trying to do to help black people are the same reasons that other black people aren't helping you. If you're a black business owner standing outside wondering why black people ain't walking in your store, ask yourself all the reasons why you ain't walking in their store, or going to the web and purchasing this book. All those excuses that you're finding to not purchase their books are the same excuses people are making not to go in your store. So all of that's got to stop. All of that's got to stop. If you are in fact, I don't go out and shop that much out in stores, but I do try to find black businesses when I can on the web if I can find them, and I do my best. But if I know that this is a black company and and they're selling something, I'm gonna try to get their stuff. And I know these two were black authors, and I jumped on getting their stuff. I'm wondering if I should try to figure out the local black bookstores in my area and try to and send them a link to the books or something. I don't know, but I know that these books needs to get out to the public, to the black public, and I know that you're the black public and you're hearing our voice, and I think that you should have already bought these if you haven't already. Okay, now we got to talk about the next level. It is time for our next level. The first step in changing our circumstances to imagine it. That's what I was just talking about a little while ago when I said I was going to skip that. Yes, we got to imagine change, and then you can take the step forward to change. This book, or both of these books, do that. They do just what we need. This is what they're supposed to do. This is what I want to see more of. I insist on seeing more of it. And so we got to buy these books, we got to write these books, and I want more black authors to come forward and be pro black authors, because some of these black authors whose name I've that I'm thinking of or that I mentioned are very good writers, but they're not writing stuff that's pro black. They're writing stuff that's pro everybody else with us as characters, and that's not good enough anymore. Been there, done that, didn't do a thing. Now we're going to take this next level. And yeah, like I said, the problem is for those who wish to exploit us and they want to continue. So they're not going to help this. They're not going to help us. They unless they can see an angle in it in which they can get money. But we're going to be looking at who's writing books, who is writing the book, and if it's not a black person, it's not a pro-black book. That's step one. And then it's got to be a pro-black author who's going to have us winning on a mass basis and having us having solution orientated events, not problem orientated like you're poor or hungry or tired. Got to be talking about how we solve that problem on a mass basis where all of us got ahead. That's pro-black. That's what I want to hear. That's what I want to read. That's stuff I want to watch. Okay. Now, grab your hard copies while you can. Of course, grab your hard copy while you can, because this none of these platforms are designed for us to get ahead. They're designed for the opposite. So the printing press will break, the hard copies fall, all kind of things go away. Every week they tell us how they can take away our platform at any second. Duh. Of course. So get your hard copy while you can. If it's in your hand, it's hard for them to get it from you. And if you got it in multiple places, it's very hard to get it from you. So get your hard copies while you can. Things can disappear like that. Okay? So grab those. It's about a half hour. I'm pretty much done with everything I had to say. Let me go back through here and see if I missed anything. I think I covered everything. Yeah, I'm good. Let me see if I got anything else. I'm gonna close this and I'm closing this. All right. Yes, I'm good. I probably did forget something, but if it comes up, I'll put it in the comments. Thank you for listening to me. Just get me some more stuff. I want some more stuff to read. I'm good. And these were excellent. These two books were excellent. Thank you. And go get your copies, Kindle, Barnes and Noble, whatever. Get these books so they'll be encouraged, so that more people will be encouraged to come out. Because this right here is a new niche. If you got any sense and know how to take advantage of it, and if you're a writer who's got a clue, you can take advantage of this new niche because this is a unique niche in all forms of media. Okay. Thanks for listening to me. Bye bye.